Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, February 8th. I'm Janine Samuels.
And I'm Byron Scott. Thank you for joining us. Well, the Prince George's lawmaker is sponsoring hate bias prevention legislation. Today in Annapolis, Delegate Angela Angel discussed House Bill 511. The measure will require public universities to report all hate and bias incidents. Angel says the need for this bill stems from the tragic death of Bowie State student Richard Collins, who was killed in a racially charged incident last year.
That are on the rise everywhere, and they will not be accepted in the state of Maryland. They most certainly will not be accepted on our public institutions of higher education. And so while we can't always censor speech, we're going to track what's happening. We're going to make sure that who's responsible for it are paying serious consequences, and we're going to make sure that all of the members of our university campuses feel that this campus is a place where they can learn and be safe.
I took office on April 30th. My first day in office, however, May 1st, I was a victim of a racially motivated hate crime. An individual hung bananas from nooses in various places around campus, emblazoned with phrases that were identifying. They put Harambe bait, referencing the gorilla that was killed at the Cincinnati Zoo in 2016, and this was all my first day in office. Just 3 days later, I was a victim of racially motivated cyber harassment by known neo-Nazi groups, and it's being currently investigated as a hate crime.
A hearing was held on the bill this afternoon.
2 suspects are in custody and 1 remains on the run after a robbery near the University of Maryland. The incident caused part of the school to be put on lockdown while police searched the woods behind the Chesapeake building. That is where the suspects fled after allegedly robbing this home on 36th Avenue. 2 people who were inside were also assaulted, according to police. We spoke with the neighbor who said it's normally a quiet area.
I didn't hear anything, and so, the ambulance left, the police left, and so I went back inside, and when just now, about 10 minutes ago, I saw, I heard the car door slamming, so I always hear the car door slam, so I always come to look to see what's going on, and then I saw somebody with the camera, with the microphone going down the street, so I said, something must have happened, so I came out, and then she told me that there was robbery. That's all. I didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. It's a quiet neighborhood, except the students. They in the summertime. There's parties going on. And cars. Back and forth. That's about it.
The victims were not seriously hurt. A police spokeswoman says officers have responded to that residence on several occasions for incidents.
Governor Larry Hogan is proposing a settlement of up to $100 million in hopes of ending a lawsuit involving Maryland's historically black colleges. Now, the suit goes back to 2006 when the state was sued for underfunding the schools. Earlier this week, the state was granted a stay of the judge's order outlining possible remedies to what she called unconstitutional violations due to unnecessary program duplication. The Legislative Black Caucus calls the governor's move a start.
I'm happy. I'm ecstatic that the governor is willing to resolve the lawsuit. That is our top priority. The resolution of the lawsuit, we told him the day after session started that we wanted him to order the Attorney General to dismiss the appeal and settle the lawsuit. It's over a 10-year period of time. So you're looking at $10 million each year for the next 10 years, to be divided among 4 HBCUs. And so how would that division be done? How does this impact the other state funding that they are otherwise entitled to? And we noticed in the letter as well that it didn't include attorney's fees. Yet the decision of the court says that the state of Maryland was guilty of the lack of funding, the appropriate funding, and the duplication of programs.
The caucus is also supporting legislation that will codify the court's decision.
Laurel police make 2 arrests in a human trafficking case involving 3 teenage girls. Officers responded to a drug complaint call the morning of January 11th to the Holiday Inn Express and Suites on Laurel Place. When they arrived, they found 3 females ages 15, 16, and 17 who officers believe were being used for prostitution.
Follow up with an investigation. Investigation revealed that there was human trafficking ongoing. We had 2 individuals, Gerald Dwayne Marshall and Ashawn Dean. We was able to obtain arrest warrants for those 2 individuals for human trafficking, and the 3 juveniles that were involved in the case were released to the custody of Child Protective Services.
What message are you all giving just to the community in general to make sure everyone is aware that this is happening or could happen?
Well, we just want people to understand that a lot of times people misunderstand what human trafficking is, and it involves sometimes what is included as prostitution and things of that matter, and not just taking someone against their will. So we just want everyone to be vigilant and understand that this can also happen to not only juveniles but as adults as well.
25-year-old Sean Dean is being held without bond. 28-year-old Gerald Marshall is being held on a $15,000 bond. They are both charged with 3 counts of human trafficking and 2 counts of prostitution. Anyone with information related to this incident is encouraged to call Laurel Police at 301-498-8002.
Lawmakers in Annapolis are considering legislation aimed at strengthening laws that protect children. State's Attorney Angela also Brooks testified this afternoon about those 2 bills. One would increase penalties for teachers and administrators and others who are aware of but fail to report suspected child abuse or neglect. The other measure would mandate threats against children be reported to authorities.
We have had a good number of cases, more than we care to mention, where an individual who was a mandatory reporter had an obligation to report suspected child abuse or neglect, did not do so, and in the most egregious cases there's no penalty attached to it. So this has been a toothless law, and we just want to ensure that we have every tool available to us should we need it, to be able to prosecute individuals who really neglect children or who don't adhere to their responsibilities to children.
One of the bills has been introduced in previous sessions, but so far has failed to pass.